Thunder Rosa has returned just in time for Christmas. Oh, happy holiday season. Just know that Thunder Rosa has returned in San Antonio to a big old reaction. Yes, let's get to the show because I have missed Thunder Rosa so. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Collision Holiday Bash. Yeah, I decided to watch the show and review the show mainly because Thunder Rosa is finally back in an AEW ring doing what she does best, being one of the best goddamn wrestlers in the world today. She's been great for a number of years. She had that back injury for a while. I'll get to that when I talk about the match, but yeah, I'll say this much though. I wish they had a bigger crowd. I really wish they did. Not just for Thunder Rosa's return, but just in general, because they had maybe 4,000 people there in the arena where the Spurs play. Yeah, that was a little bit disappointing. I got a friend that's a big Spurs fan, and he knows how big that particular arena is, and they need to market their shit better. They really do. They have talent. They have markets they can go to where they can draw big crowds. But anyway, I do want to say I hope that you have a tremendous holiday season, whatever denomination, whatever particular holiday you celebrate. If you had Hanukkah, or if you celebrate Hanukkah, that is, I hope you have a tremendous Hanukkah, a crazy Kwanzaa, or a solidified, dignified Ramadan. And now, a word from my God, our sponsors. Okay, in all seriousness, and if you celebrate Christmas, I hope that if you're with family, friends, or friends that are like family, because you don't need blood to be family, I hope you have a tremendous holiday season. This will also be the last video that I will record until at least the day after Christmas, if not Dynamite, because I'm actually going to be watching Dynamite live because I'm going to be working extra the next few days like I worked extra today. So I'm going to actually be reviewing that Dynamite. And you know what, World's End, I'm probably in anyway, but they are just shoving matches onto that card. And yeah, whatever. Let's get to the actual show. But honestly, I hope you guys have a tremendous holiday season. And I'm taking care of myself, don't worry. And I have my best and worst movies list locked in and ready for whenever the holiday season is actually done, aka the next couple days. So, slam us right into the action, why don't you? Not even Saturday night's alright for fighting. Maybe the check didn't clear to Elton John. I kid. They just wanted to get us right into it. So, Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli taking on each other in the Blue Dabba Dee Dabba League. The Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Dee Dabba League. Not diabolic, not diabolique. None of those. The crowd was into it. There were hard shots and kicks, and I'm going to tell you right now, though, there was one point where Claudio pokes a good eye. Ow, my eye, I'm not supposed to get Castagnoli in it. And let me tell you right now, when a 6'3" Swiss man violently fingers you, you're going to feel it. I will be taking no further questions about any more details, by the way. Just trust me on this. Trust me, bro. So, there was a catch into the swing. This was well done. This is one of the best TV matches they've had in a while. I don't know if it would crack, my favorite matches list, which I already filmed a while ago because I've been busy. But this was really good. They laid their shit in. A friend of mine messaged me and said they're going to go the time limit. And son of a bitch, he was correct. There was a big old super Swiss plex. And, a good series of back and forth moves. We got a sharpshooter for the finish, and then it ended up in a time limit draw. So Claudio and Danielson each got 1 point. Danielson, by default, is in the finals. The Blue League finals. Okay, cool. So, Gold League recap. Watch it be Jay White it's going to be Jay White against Kingston. Watch them do that. Caster, then, he does his usual rap. He knows how to get a reaction from a crowd still. It's nice that the Acclaimed are back on TV. They took on Top Action Flight, Darius, or Deharius, based on that hairstyle, Dante Martin, and Action Andretti. It was a Trios Championship match, one of two Trios titles that AEW advertises because, Khan also owns Ring of Honor. And one quick thing about referee Aubrey, she posted that she posted on social media they had to put her cat down after 17 years. I know what's like to lose pet, and pets are family, and my heart goes out to her. And tough decision to make. Animals certainly are family, and 17 years is a long goddamn time. You gave her the best years, she gave it in return. Appreciate it. That's all we can do for our pets. So this match basically was just dissolved into a series of moves, though. I did question why tag match rules were not enforced. And yeah, you could argue that happens in a lot of current wrestling. I mean, that happens in New Japan quite often. And it mostly happens in Lucha, but for Lucha, it fits because it's been ingrained there. At this point, they might as well just have it be a tornado tag, and we get a pin. But the title's being held. Are we getting the Acclaim going heel again? It might not be the worst idea in the world. They've been face pretty much since I would argue they were face a little bit before they had that those couple matches with Keith and Swerve. But hey, they retained the championships. It was what it was. And then we get a vignette with Hook. And Hook proceeded to use his tremendous oral skills to challenge Yuta. Yeah, I mentioned Hook's oral skills. Stop thinking about it. You know who you are. I know you're thinking about it. Stop it. Get some help. Yuta and Hook for the FTW Championship at World's End. Okay. So then, we get Limitless Keith Lee against Limited Brian Cage. That's unfair. Brian Cage isn't bad. He's also about as good as we're ever going to see him. He is from Chico Santana, California. Sorry, Jesse Ventura took over my brain for a second. This was just beef and beef and beef and just a lot of beef. Who is him? Girls. I mean, I just couldn't help but say that. Big old superplex, an incredible collision of man and meat was a line that Tony Schiavone said. This is the greatest collision of man and meat in the history of our sport. I like Tony. I like Schiavone. Don't get me wrong. That was just a funny line, a funny pause. So, we got the F10, not the F5, because it's twice as not devastating. And then we got a cinder block introduced by Prince Nana. He just pulls the cinder block out from under the ring because the cinder block stuff with Swerve happened about a year ago. Apparently in San Antonio. I totally forgot it was the same city. I mean, I guess. Was it the same arena? I hope they ran the Freeman Coliseum. They probably should have ran the Freeman Coliseum this time. But, nevertheless, they could have run the Alamo Dome. God, that would have been worse than when George Scott didn't advertise the goddamn Clash of Champions 5. How was that crowd still alive? Yeah, the cinder block got thrown into the ring, and somehow no DQ was called. You literally have a cinder block in the goddamn ring. Anyway, Keith hits what used to be the BBC, massively pounding Brian Cage now with his BBC, and gets the victory. And then says, I've got a house to burn, a house to tear down brick by brick, and throws the cinder block down. It must have been at least stronger than a couple other cinder blocks that they've used, because that one didn't break. Okay, we're going to get Keith Lee and Swerve finally having a match, which pretty much means that Swerve is not going to win the match. The three-way on Dynamite. And then Renee is with Tony, Mariah, and Luther. Mariah May apparently is going to be wrestling soon. I think this segment needed a blonde. Chin, tits, and shoe, and such, and all that. Christian Cage and Nick Wayne show up. I kept calling him Christian Wayne. Stately Christian Wayne manner. Okay, he explains all the stuff with Copeland and then says, about what Shayna Wayne did? Why, let me explain when she can come explain it herself. Here comes Shayna Wayne. Nick Wayne's mom. Okay. I didn't mind some of this, but it was clearly prepared material, and they did what they could with it. She was trying to explain herself, you took out my son, so I want to take out you. Yeah, that's fine. It's just this went longer than it needed to. And I think she was seriously getting upset at the crowd. Now, I've met them both. Nick is a tremendous talent. I talked to him at multiple indie shows. Got to meet him at one of the last indie shows I went to. I got to talk to Shayna. I didn't know her name at the time. And I would call her Mrs. Wayne because I don't know her personally. Talked to her a couple times. Super nice, super statuesque, very, very personable, very beautiful, obviously, but most importantly, personable. I know what they're trying to do here. They're kind of trying to do something similar with Christian Cage and, the Sandman stuff. Except Adam Copeland has no ties to what Nick and Shayna do. And Shayna, yes, had a reason to do that. I just think they've got about as much blood out of this turnip of a storyline as they could. So anyway, Nick stands there, which I gotta say Nick's actually been doing good in this role. And Shayna did what she could with this. And then Christian mentions Adam's mother, and if your mother was still here, I could watch her disown you. They're going to have the match on pay-per-view. It's going to be a no DQ match, so watch them just break out everything, including thumbtacks and fire. And then we cut back to Starks and Bog Bill talking about Jericho and Omega. I hope Kenny Omega recovers from diverticulitis. Even if he never steps in the ring again, I hope that he can recover. Omega, you don't have the guts. And then Bog Bill started laughing. I call him that because of the shoe print design, and he actually kind of feels like I'm being dragged down to a bog whenever he talks or wrestles. Jericho, I have a tag partner, by the way. I'm just not going to tell you who it is, because he doesn't know who the fuck it is. It's probably going to be Daniel Garcia. So, Bro Meep King, Meep, Meep, that's a terrible, terrible rendition of that. Yep, Bro Meep King against Daniel Garcia. The crowd was into it, and Garcia won. Also, why was that Magic Dad guy, Daddy Magic, whatever the hell his name is, at ringside? All seconds are supposed to be banned from ringside. Oh, he's on commentary. That's lazy. Yeah, that's really fucking lazy. But the reason he was there is after Garcia won with a jackknife, so Bro Meep King is out of the whole thing. The lights out, the House of Black attack, and there's FTR. And FTR basically say we're tired of the House of Black games, and I believe Dax said something about drinking whiskey, or being the whiskey drinking uncle. Because they want him in the family. Okay, we're going to have a match at the pay-per-view. I assume FTR and Garcia against the House of Black. Or FTR and somebody. I don't know. Maybe FTR and, I don't know, a kid. But bring a kid out. Bring a kid. Wait, no, he's Axiom Verge in WWE. I don't know what they're going to do. They were kind of unclear about that. But FTR is going to have a match on the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view, by the way, that is in less than a week as of this recording. So, big pop for Thunder Rosa. Massive pop. This is after Sky Blue came out looking so good. Julia Hart looking so good. They have captured this, darker look for themselves perfectly. And it fits them. They have character about them now. And Abaddon, I'm sorry, I can't help it. They look good. They have put in the work. They have improved. Thunder Rosa, though, she was the star here because it was her home, like the city she calls home now. And she got a big old reaction. Came down in a car with its top down. Great stuff. That was cool. And she was fired up. And evidently she has wrestled a little bit in Mexico. If I'm wrong about that, if I was misinformed, then I apologize. And if she's obviously been keeping herself in great shape. And she just got cleared like 3 months ago, and then AEW has just hired her to do commentary because we don't have anything for you. See, Thunder Rosa, this is nothing against Sky, it's nothing against Julia, nothing against Abaddon. Nothing against the hardworking women in that division. They have desperately needed Thunder Rosa back because they need women that can actually put others over, work with others, is a veteran, and is willing to work with others, and is willing to actually have really good matches because Thunder Rosa is a superior worker. And that's nothing against, again, that's nothing against any of the others that they have, but Jamie Hayter's injured. Sheeta, I don't know where the hell Sheeta is. I think Sheeta's just back in Japan doing whatever the hell she wants to do. The women's division needs a focus, and Thunder Rosa could be that. And Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm to wrap up that whole goddamn thing that should have happened about a year and a half ago. If they want to do that at Revolution, sign me the fuck up. But it's good to see her back. Tremendous camera work during this match, I do have to say. But they were building the tag. Abaddon is not used to working as a face. You can tell. That's not to say that Abaddon hasn't improved. I'm not saying Abaddon's the absolute best out there, but they've improved a lot. And after coming back from an injury, and Abaddon did some good stuff, and eventually did build to the hot tag. Thunder Rosa got a big old reaction. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I was so happy to see that goddamn crowd pop like crazy, even if it was only 4,000 people in an 18,000 seat building, even if it was only 9,000 that they were set up for. But that being said, at least the crowd popped and Thunder Rosa got a big reaction. The gear looked great. She had a nice bridge. They were cooking. And then I think she tried for some kind of move, and I don't know what her and Sky were trying to do. Something flummox happened. But Thunder Rosa got the victory. This was good. I enjoyed this. And I was happy to... And Sky taking the pin makes sense. Abaddon, I'm sorry. Against Julia Hart at World's End for the TBS Championship. But put Thunder Rosa at least in the 0 hour. Put her with a tag partner and put her and Shida against Sky Blue in some way. I don't know. Do something. Put Thunder Rosa and Willow Nightingale together. Do something. Have her, Willow, and Chris Statlander against Sky Blue and a couple people. I just want to see more Thunder Rosa on my television, and I mean that with respect because she's absolutely great. So, I hope CJ gets healthy. Apparently, she had an infected finger. From what? I don't know. Regardless, Miro posted on Instagram apparently that this was kind of bad. Hopefully, she is going to recover. It doesn't matter. She's back on TV anytime soon. Her health is top priority. Eddie Kingston and Andrade El Olio had a match that the crowd was into. They were in Andrade El Olio and Eddie Kingston. My problem is I haven't been given much of a reason to care about these particular characters because Eddie, they had a chance with him after that article came out about him talking about all the issues he's gone through and the fact he almost quit and came back, and then they had Jericho suck the life out of him in a feud. Andrade has just been here and there and can wrestle, but seems like a guy waiting out his contract. They were going to stick with this until the very end. And, big elbow for 2, a back fist, and then a Northern Lights bomb. 1, 2, 3. So Eddie got the victory. So, okay, Eddie got the victory. And Danielson comes down, and him and Eddie stare down. So we're getting that. Okay, so we have something to look forward to. The funniest thing is, though, Dynamite is apparently supposed to be in Orlando. And if that's the case, remember where World's End is? It's in Nassau. So you're having him go. He's literally running the Crockett playbook from when they had a house show just before going to Bunkhouse Stampede. I think they had it in Florida somewhere, Orlando or Miami or something. Or Fort Lauderdale. I don't exactly remember, but they went there and then they went all the way up to Nassau. In almost the same time. I mean, because Bunkhouse Stampede 88 was in January of 88. This is in, December, but nevertheless. So that being said, a decent episode of Collision. I don't know how much of Collision I'm going to watch review going forward. If Thunder Rosa is going to be on the lineup, though, I will review it. I will say that much. And others, too. But if Thunder Rosa's there and they put her in feuds that I care about and they feature her more, I'm absolutely locked in. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethland. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that jazz. See you soon.